All right, here's my audience. What if I told you one man was responsible for over 80% of the cocaine in the United States in the 1980s? Pablo Escobar is a man notorious for transporting and starting the drug trade of cocaine in the United States in the 1970s and 1980s. Pablo Escobar was a prominent figure in Colombia in the 1980s and also garnered the title of one of the 10 richest men in the world. At a certain point in his life, he had over $30 billion accrued. Pablo Escobar was born on December 1st, 1949, in the Colombian city of Rio Negro. He came from moderate life and reportedly started getting into crime at an early age. He would steal tombstones and sell phony diplomas to earn easy and quick cash. He would later turn towards bigger crimes like stealing cars and eventually wound up in the drug smuggling business. Pablo Escobar married Maria Victoria Henao at the age of 15 and had a son named Juan Pablo and a daughter named Manuela. Pablo Escobar also was at the forefront of a group of drug traffickers called the Medellin Cartel. The cartel was made up of other members of the drug trafficking world. Colombia was a prime spot for cocaine in the smuggling business. It was located near Peru and Bolivia, which were cultivation destinations for cocaine. It was also fairly close to the southern coast of the United States, which was a huge market for the new drug. Escobar seized the opportunity of drug trafficking as soon as possible. He supposedly would traffic in more than 15 tons every day, earning the Medellin cartel amounts of $420 million a week. It would be an understatement to call Pablo Escobar rich. One time he burned $2 million to keep his family warm. He also had a private Learjet just for transporting his own money. He spent a lot of money to help the poor as well. He helped build schools, sports facilities, and also built a very luxurious jail that he would later put himself in. At one point, he offered to pay the $10 billion debt that Colombia had accrued in exchange for any extradition treaty. Escobar also owned a lot of different types of animals and even had a zoo at his $63 million home. The zoo held over 200 animals, many of which were smuggled into the country, and after his death were transferred to other zoos. 4 hippos were left behind and mated, multiplying the community to around 40 to this day. Pablo Escobar's home was very large, approximately around 7,000 acres, and had a soccer field, a runway for his planes, a bullfighting arena, dinosaur statues, a collection of classic cars and motorcycles, a racetrack, a sculpture garden, and at the entrance, the plane he used for his first shipment of cocaine to the United States. Although the life of Pablo Escobar seems like nothing but riches and luxuries, this came at a cost. Throughout his life, Pablo Escobar killed thousands, estimated to be around 4,000 people. He had a phrase that became synonymous to him, plato o plomo. This meant silver or lead, which was either taking the bribe or taking the bullet. He was also responsible for the 1989 plane crash, which resulted in over 100 deaths of 100 different people. Throughout his life, it is estimated that he has killed over 1,000 police officers as well. Pablo Escobar surrendered to authorities in June 1991. He built the prison I referred to earlier called La Catedral. The prison had a nightclub, sauna, casino, and was protected by some of his own men. He later would escape, which led to a manhunt that lasted over 16 months. Escobar was finally caught on December 2nd, 1993, being fatally shot on a rooftop in Medellin. Pablo Escobar has lived a very impressive life. He started a multi-billion-dollar drug trafficking business that has transported several thousand tons of cocaine into the United States. He even has a very popular Netflix series about him called Narcos. Apparently his son threatened to sue the show over misinterpretation for $1 million. He dropped the suit later on, though. Pablo Escobar's life is that of tragedy and luxury. He helped the poor and accrued billions of dollars through his effort in Colombia. But with that worth came penalties, resulting in the deaths of thousands of innocent civilians and police officers, and even his own life. He also started the cocaine pandemic of the 1980s, which led to others following suit in the drug trafficking business.